Welcome to the Hank Cisco Show, ladies and gentlemen. Don't touch that remote. Got a great show here today. Hey, we just flew in a movie actor. We got a movie actor that played with different parts, a police officer, a racket guy, a guy that's, films that you like, a lot of action. And his name is Vincent
RIVIEZZO.
Isn't that sounds like music? Well, now Google Vince RIVIEZZO, RIVIEZZO, and you'll see some of the movies and things that's kind of. Now we're going to talk about what he's doing, why he's in Norristown, Norristown High School, and he's in front of the cameras, now you're a movie actor, right?
That's correct.
Now, how long you been doing this?
Actually, 18 years. I got in it pretty late.
You started with...
I started being a salesman to the casino industry for 20-some years. I was walking out of a casino one day, always suit and tie. There's two guys over there looking for spots to film a movie in Atlantic City. They liked my look, and the rest was history. Now, when they said they wanted to put me in a movie, I thought, hey, I'll be in a movie once. I can talk to the buyers about that. It's a good conversation piece. I never thought it would snowball to 67 movies.
Wow, it's 67 different movies, right? Now, where did you study? Then you naturally, when you get a call like that, you want to polish yourself up. So how'd you do? What'd you do?
Well, I went to Westchester University and I took up acting classes. Okay, and that was a pretty good.
Westchester University.
Westchester University in Westchester, Pennsylvania. Okay. Yeah, not the one in New York. Okay? And they have a good program for actors, and I did very well there, of course. And it's funny, the finals that we had to do, you had to write a 3-act play, and then you had to act out 5 minutes, one scene of one of the things. So I made 2 Italian guys making spaghetti sauce for the boss, okay? And this guy puts something in my sauce. And I turned to him, I said, "What'd you do that for?" He said, "It's from my mother's recipe in Bologna, Italy." I said, "This ain't your mother's sauce." Boom! And the teacher loved it. The teacher loved it. But anyhow, that was Westchester.
Well, what's your favorite movie? You make movies. What is always a favorite like?
There is a favorite because it was the family filmed in 2012 because they sent me to France for 8 days. Now, I would have never paid to go to France on my own.
No.
Eiffel Tower, Normandy, you know what I mean, Versailles.
Right.
I got to see most of France on somebody else's dime.
Right.
Luc Besson, who's the biggest producer in France, he's our Martin Scorsese. He done Taken 1, Taken 2, Taken 3, things like that. And he liked me. He took a liking to me at the auditions in New York, which was another funny thing. When my agent, Lucy King, sent me up to New York to audition for this part, I studied all weekend, 3 different mobsters I was supposed to be. So I go up there, and Robert De Niro had to approve every actor that's going to go over to France, because he knows what a New York mobster would look like. But Luc Besson's a Frenchman. He don't know guts, right?
Oh, yeah.
So anyhow, the girl hands me the piece of paper and says, "Here, Vince, read for the first part." I said, "No." You could have heard a pin drop. I said, "If you think I'm putting reading glasses on and holding a piece of paper like a kid in the 3rd grade, you got another thought coming. I'm going to give it to you the way it's supposed to be on the screen. Hey, you, if there was a fire downtown right now, how many guys could you send?" 40. "You got 40 guys in this firehouse right now?" "No, just me." "Good." Bang! That's in the movie, you know what I'm saying? And I come out of the audition, and I call my agent, and I said, "Why did you send me up here to New York and waste my gas money, my tolls, my time?" I'm giving her hell, right? She said, "Why? Didn't you do good?" I said, "No, I know I did good." I said, "But all the Sopranos are here. They've been on TV for 7 years. They're going to pick me over them?" They picked me over them.
And you were the Sopranos, right?
Yeah. So anyhow, I ended up with a great experience going over to France and filming that movie.
Robert De Niro, I like him. He acts. What kind of guy is he like in person?
He's mellowed now. He reminds me of my uncle.
Yeah.
He's not. We were at a party over in Normandy, all the actors, and I'm over talking to Robert De Niro about the other 2 movies I did with him. I did Limitless with him, okay, and Silver Linings Playbook. So anyhow, I said to Robert, I was talking to him about, other movies I've done with him. And I said, I think I better get away from you before I get a bad reputation. And I walked away from him. You like that?
That's like George Raff. So he played his part so that in England they didn't want him over there because they thought he was a racket guy. And he always played, a racket. He was a good dancer too, years ago. And all right, now you wrote a book, but you put down here
Author unknown.
Author unknown.
That's
Why you write a book and put nobody's name there?
Because this book here, okay, is about the mob.
Let me
all
see.
Right?
What is it?
It's about the mob in Philadelphia. So I didn't want to get my name on the front page, but my name's on page 45. And besides, I wanted to be known more as an actor than a writer. So CCL Productions down in it's Winchester, Virginia, Connie Lamoth. She's the one that picked this book up and wrote the screenplay, and she's a director-producer. She started to have this made into a movie starring me, and a person that was going to be the biggest contributor, he died.
Oh.
And we lost the funding. So the movie's only like 1/3 made. And now we're in limbo right now because it's pretty tough to get investors right now.
Yeah.
So that's up to her. It's not up to me because I'm the actor.
Well, you played as a police commissioner.
Oh, yes.
Which a good guy.
Law-abiding citizen.
Sometimes you're a good guy, sometimes you're a bad guy.
That's
right?
correct. That's correct. But when I played the police commissioner, the law-abiding citizen, I was in the mayor's office, and I kept looking up at Frank Rizzo's picture, who was a personal friend of mine and the family.
Yeah, he's my friend, too.
And I said, Frank, I'm playing you in this movie. You know what I'm saying? So it was an honor to get the police commissioner.
Yeah, he was a good friend of mine. When I was in Norristown, I fought under the name of Hank Cisco, the Cisco Kid. And they called him the Cisco Kid. And my chief would let me, I had a pearl handle gun, and he had one. So they wrote an article in the Philadelphia Bulletin, and so one day I get a call. Hello, is this Hank Cisco? Yeah. What's this stuff about you to Cisco? I want to meet you, And I went down to Philadelphia. He was a police commissioner at the time, and he became mayor. We became great friends, and in fact, I was one of his pallbearers when he passed away. Although I never worked for him, and we had some good times,
He was known all over the world.
Yeah.
And a funny story about Frank Rizzo and his name. I was in Las Vegas when we had the big hurricane here in Philadelphia, and they canceled all flights coming into Philadelphia. So US Air said to me and the person I was with, here's a voucher. Take a cab into town, do what you want, and come back in 7 hours. But don't tell the cab driver you have a voucher, because they don't want to take them, but they have to take them by law. So I went into town. The cab driver was fine with the voucher. When I came back and got out, I said to the woman, here's the voucher. Oh, no, she went nuts, ballistic. No voucher. Police, get the police. Next thing you know, 2 cops come over. I said, what's the problem here? She said, he's trying to beat the fair. I said, I'm not trying to beat no fair. Before you say another word, I'm Frank Rizzo's nephew from Philadelphia. You're related to Frank Rizzo? I wasn't, but they said, we'll straighten her out, because then the Sky Cap said, I work for US Air, and when he was trying to pay her as perfectly normal, they said, we'll straighten her out. They went over her up, give me your license. I walked in the airport, the heck with her. I don't know what and it was Frank Rizzo's name that did all that.
You'd be surprised. He was very well known, and you know what I like about him? When we were sitting, I was part of the kitchen cabinet. Every Saturday we would be at the house, and he'd have his lawyers, a couple of other guys, and he would sit at the end of the table, and it was called the kitchen cabinet. If you ever read the book about Rizzo, I think I'm page 145 or so, and we had a lot to do with it. When he was always, and after he was out of mayor, he was home all the time, walking his dog, Casey, you know. So Carmela called me, says, Hank, get him out of the house, I said, okay, we'll go up there. So there was a restaurant up in Collegeville called Harpoon Louie,
Yeah.
you know. So I called him. I says, Frank, let's go have dinner up there. He says, what's the name of the place? I said, Harpoon. What's he, a racket guy? I said, no. He said, so we went there and we had dinner, and he wasn't mayor. And he smoked a cigar, the last cigar, and a big steak, you know, and I didn't know that he had diabetes and he shouldn't have been done. But he says, I stopped smoking, stopped eating big steaks, you know, and finally, I made the reservation under Hank Cisco. So we were upstairs, you know, and he would laugh, "Hoo," you know, the whole place would roar. So little by little, somebody recognized him, you know, because he was out of office, you know, and we were upstairs. All of a sudden, the room started getting filled up, and everybody's looking over and looking over. So finally, we got finished eating, and we're going downstairs, and everybody in the bar, a whole area, come on, Frank, come on back, we need you. And he's going, okay. And he ran, you know, but then he died campaigning, you know. But he was a law and order guy.
Yes,
he says,
was.
keep the town safe and clean.
That's
you know.
it.
Now, what do you got on the front burner? Anything going on?
Well, I just finished filming a movie a couple weeks back for M. Night Shyamalan. You know, he does all them crazy movies. And I play a detective, and it'll be out in 2017. The movie's called Split, S-P-L-I-T. And I get a lot of invites to go down and do House of Cards, which is on HBO. I did several episodes of that, you know. But technically, I want to take off for the winter. I'm tired of running up to New York, parking and walking, you know what I'm saying? It's a hassle. And after 67 movies and major TV shows, you know what I mean? It's not that the thrill's gone. You can pick and choose, and I pick and choose. One of the biggest thrills I got out of my acting is my granddaughter, Allison Page. She's 8 years old now. She's the love of my life. She calls me on the phone one day, and she goes, Pop, I just saw you in a commercial.
Oh.
That was it. That
made the day.
That made the day for me, you know.
Yes.
So, anyhow.
But, well, now, this show here, you're going to be my contact guy for getting some stars here.
I got the connections.
You mentioned something about you have a singer.
Oh, yes.
No, it's another guy's about 84 years old. What's about that? Tell me something about him.
Well, Lenny's a career Army man that became an actor, okay? Lenny's in a lot of movies with me. In fact, I met him on the set of Invincible. Remember the Vince Papale movie?
Oh, yeah, from Philadelphia, football player.
Yeah, I worked on that movie a
Were you
long
in that?
time. Yeah, I'm the cameraman in the end zone and on the sideline all over. When he recovers the fumble and he's running into the end zone, that's me snapping the phony pictures of him, you know. But Mark Wahlberg's a great guy.
Yeah.
I was in the happening with him, and we have a scene where there's only the six of us. The train stops, and we all look out the window of the train. And Wahlberg's here, Zoe Deschanel's here, and I'm right back here.
Yeah.
And it's like five of us, and that's the whole scene.
Yeah.
I've done a bunch of things with Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
Good guy.
Yeah, he was, and
Shooter.
that's a great story, too, a true story, you know. And now, most of your shooting, what cities, or you don't go to Hollywood or anything? They don't.
It's furthest.
Too many in Hollywood anymore. No?
Too many crazies. Let me tell you something about Hollywood. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania was the first Hollywood. There's a history lesson. They made all the movies here. And then when they wanted to start getting into Westerns, they got on a train and they went out west. And that's where they discovered Hollywood and stayed there. But most of your movies in the 20s were made in Philadelphia, and they're starting to bring a lot of movies back here.
And they made some movies up in Port Kennedy, I think. I look at some history in this area years ago. They used to do some movies there. And I think they shot a movie up in Phoenixville.
Oh, yeah, The Blob. The Blob was shot in Phoenixville.
And so they're talking about doing a couple shows in this area, you know. But takes guys like you to drop some seeds around here, you know. And you came to my Manjuni the other night and gave a little talk.
Yep, that's the truth. And it was a great dinner, too.
All right, now this book here, how can, if I want to buy this, how do I get it?
Just
online?
You just go online and you put the driver from iUniverse, you know, small I, big universe, okay? They're the publishers of this book. And But they sell it on
You gotta
Amazon.
autograph that for me.
I'll do that, my friend. I'll do
Come on.
that. It's $8.95. I don't know if a lot of people can afford it.
How much?
$8.95.
Wow.
And if you want to read it
Oh, my
online,
God.
they charge you an
we'll make
extra $1.
We'll make a collection. I'll drink on that, right? All right. Now,
I'm listening, Hank.
did you have any? I'm a former professional amateur boxer and a referee. Did you ever do any boxing?
Never done any boxing. I used to teach karate.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because they said, all this swinging from the outside in is a lot of wasted time. To the karate people, they want you to go straight into the body and do damage. I'll tell you the truth. I was pretty good at it. I made money at it, but
What do you mean that they want to do that? What do you mean?
they twist. They study the human body, okay? And this is like a battering ram. When you twist this and get the torque and go straight with these two knuckles, you can go right through a human body. You can go right through to the back if you want. I'm not into that violence, you know what I'm saying? If I'm going to be violent, I'm going to shoot somebody. I don't waste my time swinging.
I don't like that other cage boxing. I think that they should allow that.
I know.
I can't believe it. I mean, I'm a boxing referee. If a guy hits the guy in the back, it's a rabbit punch. He's not allowed to do that. You can't hit on the break. Safe. Here the guy's hitting the guy. He's kicking him. He's biting him. Well, come on.
No, that's crazy.
I think that caused a lot of violence in the school. Kids think that that's the way to fight. It's not the way to fight.
I know.
Got to be fair. Well, I'll talk about that later. Okay. Now, what do you think? How can we hook up with something to come here? Somebody who do you think would be helpful?
I think
The Cisco show.
I think my friend Len Thomas be helpful for two reasons. He's a career Army man. He fought in several wars, okay? He's 80-some years old now. The guy's got a lot of great stories, but he became an actor, and that's where I met him, and he does a good job as an actor. And I hope when I'm 85 years old, I can do what he can do.
Right.
So
But
he'd be a good
he has
guy.
some good stories to tell.
Great stories to tell.
Yeah, I want to we'll line him up with that, and that's all. You got a singer too.
Yeah, Helen Chong, she's a local Philadelphia actress, and she's known, in a lot of different movies.
She's known by what?
She done the commercial at Christmas time. She's the caroler. She's singing, the Christmas carols when they do the Pennsylvania Lottery commercial.
Yeah.
And she has a beautiful voice, so, she would be glad to come here for me.
Good. I'd be glad. Yeah. How about this one? Here's a question from the audience, okay, up in the balcony.
What are some of the biggest celebrities on a movie set? I'm going to tell you who I worked with. I'm going to start with the oldest and the best, Mickey Rooney. I did a movie with Mickey Rooney. He's passed now, okay?
Mickey.
I worked with Robert De Niro. I worked with Bruce Willis. I worked with Denzel Washington. I worked with Nicole Kidman on that movie called The Invasion, okay, down in Baltimore. I worked with Renee Zellweger in a movie called My One and Only, and we actually filmed on Douglas MacArthur's estate that the United States gave him when the war was over.
When the war was over.
Yeah, Douglas MacArthur has a beautiful estate down in Maryland, and we done all the filming of the cocktail party on his estate. I was just like amazed at this property. And I got some scenes with Renee Zellweger. In fact, I get locked up in that movie. I got two cops locking me up, pushing me up the police station steps in the movie. And Renee Zellweger's just getting out of jail. Yeah. You know what I mean? It was a good scene.
I know you brought some pictures of the newspapers and everything, and John Doyle is putting them on the screen so we can review them. People that doing. But what inspired you to be an actor? I know they just come out of, they met you and all that stuff.
Right.
But did you ever, when you're in school, did you ever do anything in the show or anything?
I was the class clown all through school. I used to entertain the class, And I guess it was a natural in me. And my father wanted to send me out to California to my cousin, Nicky Marcelino, who was a big makeup artist in California. And I was only like 17. I said, no, I ain't going to go out there. And I never followed the dream, but I've always, as a salesman, I don't think there's any better actor than a salesman. Because of the people you have to deal with. And you got to bob and weave all the time. So I got a lot of my skills acting as a salesman.
All right. I got an audience Now, I'm interested in this. I like this. What is a day on the set like? On the set, what's it like?
Okay, we can start that out. I'll do the barbecue scene from The Family. We're over in France, okay? They pick us up in a limousine, drive us over to makeup and wardrobe. So the first thing we got to do is you got to get approved by each department. So makeup will say, do his hair, do his face, blah, blah, blah. Then you go over to wardrobe. Wardrobe will show you different costumes. Put this on, put this on. You'll try on maybe 3 or 4 different costumes, and then she'll say, I want you to wear that shirt, them pants, put this gold chain around your neck, wear these sunglasses, and they dress you like a little baby. They tell you what to wear. Then you come out and you get approved by wardrobe. Now that takes hours. You don't even walk out to the set until all this hair, makeup, wardrobe is done. Now you're ready. Then they bring you out on the set, and the PAs, production assistants. They bring you around, they place you in your position where you're going to be. Then somebody will come around from props. Props are anything that you have to hold in the movie, newspaper, guns. So they gave us these guns, and they weren't fake guns. I was on the wire, and they gave us real.
They were fake guns?
No, these were real.
Real?
These were real.
In France?
In France. But when I was on the wire, they gave us real guns and holsters when we did the wire. When I was a police officer in every show in Philadelphia, they were rubber guns that they used at the police academy for the weight. And just not to diverse from that, but I was playing a cop one day on a TV show Hack, and we're on break. I'm standing outside the courthouse. A real police officer in Philly comes and grabs you. She's, come with me, we got a problem. I said, whoa, you got a problem. My gun's rubber and I'm not going anywhere. He said, what? I said, I'm an actor, I'm not a cop. We got told after that, from now on when you actors that are playing cops are on break, you will turn your hat backwards so we know you're not real. And that came from, yes?
Wait a minute, run that by me again. Now.
We had to wear our hats backwards when they say cut, we're going to change the camera.
So, I see. When you're,
then we
when you're not on camera.
No, so then we're going to go to lunch. And we had to walk 2 blocks to Hallahan High School. We were outside the family court. So we're walking to the high school with our hats backwards, and you hear the people making comments. Look at these idiots. They don't even know how to wear their hats. You can't win. You can't win, Hank.
All right. Now, I would say you're a seasoned movie actor, okay? Now, we got students here at Northtown High School. They're behind the camera. I'm sure sometime they'll want to go be in front of the camera. We have actors in the show here and all. What advice would you give a young actor, he or she?
Well, I would tell a young actor, and I told this at a conference once where they paid me $250 for 15 minutes to talk about how to get into acting. When you first start and they're going to use you in the background, always remember it's not about you. Don't you try to become the producer, and I'll tell you a quick story about Sex in the City. The people went and placed me here. They placed this other girl here. And the girl that was sitting there for 15 minutes at the blackjack table said to this girl, do me a favor and move back a little bit. The camera can't see me. She was watching the camera. The girl stepped back. I said, hey, you, get back over here. I said, she's not the director. You see me and this other girl in the movie. You don't see this girl. It's not about you and where the camera is. It's about the production company, the director, the producer. They know what they want. Let them put you where you are. And the people that keep their mouths shut and just follow orders, they excel. They go further.
That's right.
But they do know the people that are trying to jockey for position and move where they're not supposed to be, because they have notes.
And they want to get on camera.
Yeah. And I've seen people get embarrassed and thrown off the set for not following orders. So the first thing I would say, if you love the art and you want to be in the art and you start out doing, background extra work, just learn, just go with it, and don't be a producer. Let them do it, and the cream will always rise to the top. Right,
and in other words, the director, now I'll give you an example. When I come into this studio and I sit here, my guest, John Doyle, comes in here, he's the boss.
Yes, he is.
He moves my chair, he moves here. I don't say nothing. And then he tells you, you know, to look this way because that camera's looking at you. You don't have to be looking at the camera, you know. So I just put things down, and then he's the boss from the time. Then when the cameras start rolling, then I talk.
Right.
Then it's my show. But in the meantime, it's up to him to make sure he gets it right. Because if you're over there too far, over here, I mean, you know, it's going to be out. So that's great advice.
Yeah, I got off my story, you know,
Go ahead.
about you know, the day in the acting. So then they gave us these real guns, and they gave everybody at the barbecue a gun. And Luke said, listen, when I say 3, everybody aim their gun at Robert De Niro. This is a bad dream in the movie. So everybody's like not paying attention. He goes 1, 2, 3, and you see like 40 guns come up at Robert De Niro. He's like that. So we did this about 6 takes, and then they changed the lens. So now they're going to do it from a different angle. So Luke goes 1, and I pull the gun up, and he goes, cut. I told you 3. I said, I'm Italian. I'm a fast draw. I can't wait for them. The whole, including Robert, they all cracked up.
Well, they crack up.
Now, that's the blooper, right? I did it on purpose.
Yeah.
When you see the trailer for The Family.
The movie.
Yeah, the
That's
real,
the name of it.
Yeah, The Family. You see one gun come up, mine. He used that. I got a picture of it. Now, in fact, the picture's in my wallet.
Yeah.
I'm the only guy with the gun up, and everybody else is standing around like they're duels, right? Because I did that on purpose, because I knew that that could lead to something like that.
Yeah.
And I've been acting so long, I don't worry about getting thrown off the set. You know what I'm saying?
A little
But
experience.
they
Sets in.
They laughed it
Yeah,
off.
yeah,
They
yeah.
laughed it off.
Yeah.
My first speaking part, I made up the words. The director didn't know. Nobody knew. This guy was supposed to come up and beat me up. He was 400 pounds, okay? And he's supposed to beat me up, and he can't catch up to me, okay? So I told him, I'm going to make up the words. And I did, and guess what? It ended
They
up in
used
the
them.
movie.
Yeah.
Hank, I really want to thank you for having me on your show. You're a pleasure to know, you know what
listen,
I mean?
you're gonna. We got a lot to do up front, and I have a friend here that's. This is the Italian American Herald newspaper in Philadelphia, and it's Barbara Zippy, and she wants you to come on the show, and also they want to do a story on you, you know, and so we put this show on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Comcast 28, Verizon 45, and 5 o'clock and 5:30. We got 2 different shows, like, you know, and it, you know. Now, where do you live?
I live in Roxborough.
Roxborough.
Mm-hmm.
Roxborough.
Roxborough. It's only a half hour from here.
That's there.
I'm so high on the hill, I'm higher than William Penn's hat.
All right,
Thank
Vince,
you, my
thanks
friend.
a lot for everything, and I want to thank you for coming here. And you dropped the seeds here, and we're going to see if we can develop some studio that we have here in Norristown, and my show. You'll have some more people here. So, ladies and gentlemen, thanks a lot for allowing us to come into your home, and it's been a pleasure. My man, say your name again.
Vincent Riviezzo.
Okay, that's it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you, and may God bless each and every one. Keep bobbing and weaving, and keep your trunks off the canvas. Okay, here we go. Grazia. All right.